Ladies and gentlemen, in this world full of noise, opinions, and expectations, there comes a time when you must make a choice, the choice to focus on yourself. Because when you choose to focus on yourself, you silence the chaos around you. You create a force so powerful that it shakes in a world driven by likes, comments, and external praise. It is easy to become addicted to validation from others. We post pictures to see who notices, share thoughts hoping for agreement, and often live our lives in silent fear of rejection or judgment. But the truth is, if you want to truly shock everyone, you must first decide to focus on yourself and prioritize your inner growth over the need for external validation. When you do this, you begin to operate on a level far beyond superficial approval. You begin to live from the depths of your soul, driven by purpose rather than applause. Because people's opinions are temporary, ever-changing, and often built on their own insecurities and limited understanding of you. Your growth, however, is permanent. It becomes a part of your being, your character, and your destiny. The moment you decide to stop living for validation is the moment you reclaim your power. You no longer fear criticism because your value is not tied to their words. You no longer depend on praise because your confidence is rooted in who you are becoming. You start to realize that approval is a fleeting illusion. You can receive it today and be criticized tomorrow by the same people. But your inner growth, your strength, your skills, your wisdom, your discipline remains with you, unshaken, regardless of how the world perceives you. Focusing on your inner growth requires you to shift your mindset from pleasing others to pleasing your higher self. You begin to ask different questions. Instead of, will they like this? You ask, is this aligned with my purpose? Instead of, will they approve of me? You ask, am I proud of who I am becoming? This shift is what separates people who live their lives in quiet frustration from those who build legacies of impact and authenticity. The path of inner growth is not easy. It demands discipline, reflection, solitude, and the courage to face your weaknesses without shame. It demands that you rise every morning determined to improve yourself, regardless of whether anyone claps for you. It demands you to say no to distractions and yes to practices that build your mind and character, such as reading, meditating, exercising, learning new skills, and keeping your promises to yourself. When you prioritize inner growth, you will notice that people begin to sense something different about you. They see it in your eyes, hear it in your words, and feel it in your silent presence. You become unbothered by gossip and negativity because you are too focused on building the life you desire. External validation is like a drug. It gives a temporary high, but leaves you empty the moment it fades. Inner growth, on the other hand, nourishes your spirit. It builds self-respect, which is far greater than self-esteem. Because self-esteem depends on your achievements, while self-respect depends on your character. When you choose inner growth, you shock everyone because people expect you to react, to seek approval, to beg for recognition. Instead, you move with quiet confidence. You walk away from things that do not grow you. You stand firm in your truth. You remain silent when words are unnecessary. And you remain kind when cruelty would be easier. You become the person who walks into a room without needing to announce your worth, because your energy and focus speak louder than any introduction. As you keep focusing on yourself, you will also notice that the opinions of others begin to lose their grip on your mind. You no longer waste mental energy wondering who likes you or who doesn't, because you are too busy liking the person you are becoming. You will realize that external validation kept you small, chained to people's changing opinions, but inner growth makes you limitless. You begin to measure your success by your growth, not their applause. You begin to measure your progress by how much stronger, wiser, and more peaceful you have become compared to yesterday. This creates a life of freedom. You live to serve your purpose, not their expectations. You live to fulfill your vision, not their shallow standards. You live to grow, to evolve, to become all that you were created to be, and in doing so, you inspire others without even trying. In conclusion, the greatest shock you will ever give to this world is not your words or your achievements. It is your transformation. It is when you rise above the shallow chase for validation and instead build yourself from within. When you focus on your inner growth, you radiate an unbreakable power that no praise can inflate and no criticism can deflate. You shock everyone by becoming the person who no longer needs their approval because your self-worth is rooted deep within your soul. And that is a force no one can deny or ignore. We often look at the successful and wonder what secret they hold. We see their achievements and think there must be something extraordinary about them. But the truth is simple and timeless. Their power lies in their commitment to consistent daily improvement. This is the hidden truth many ignore. Most people seek quick fixes, shortcuts, and instant results, but life does not reward those who do something once. It rewards those who do the right things repeatedly, long after the excitement has faded. When you commit to improving yourself every single day, even in the smallest ways, you build a foundation so strong that no challenge can shake it. The mind, the body, and the soul thrive on consistency. You don't become strong by lifting weights once. You don't become wise by reading a single book. You don't build discipline by waking up early one day and sleeping in the next. Greatness is hidden in the small actions done daily, in silence, without applause, without witnesses, and without instant results. Committing to daily improvement demands humility because it requires you to admit you are not yet where you want to be. It requires you to surrender your ego, accept your weaknesses, and work patiently to transform them into strengths. It is not glamorous to repeat the same practice, to study, to train, to discipline yourself when no one is watching, but it is precisely this invisible effort that creates visible results. Most people give up too soon because they measure progress with impatient eyes. They fail to understand that the first days and weeks often show nothing. The seed planted under the soil remains unseen for a long time before it breaks through the ground. Likewise, your consistent efforts may remain invisible to others and even to yourself, but beneath the surface, your mind is becoming sharper, your habits are becoming stronger, and your spirit is becoming unbreakable. When you commit to daily improvement, you build confidence not from external praise, but from the quiet knowledge that you kept your promises to yourself. This is true confidence, knowing that you can rely on yourself regardless of circumstances. Each day you keep your word to yourself, you strengthen the foundation of your self-respect. Each day you choose growth over comfort, you silence the voice of weakness within you. It does not matter how small your improvement is each day. It may be reading 10 pages, doing 10 push-ups, meditating for 5 minutes, learning a new word in a foreign language, or simply replacing a negative thought with a positive one. What matters is that you do it every day, because one day you will look back and realize these small steps carried you across mountains you once thought impossible to climb. People will be shocked by your results, but they will not see the days you spent waking up early to study when you could have slept longer. They will not see the hours you spent training your body when you could have relaxed. They will not see the silent battles in your mind, the moments you chose discipline over indulgence, the tears you wiped alone as you continued to move forward. They will only see the strength you have built, the peace in your eyes, the wisdom in your words, and the results that speak louder than any explanation. That is why consistent daily improvement is so powerful. It does not demand you to prove yourself to anyone. It demands only that you become better than the person you were yesterday. The path of daily improvement also teaches you patience. In a world addicted to speed, patience becomes your secret weapon. You no longer rush your journey because you trust the process. You understand that anything built quickly is easily destroyed, but what is built slowly and consistently stands the test of time. Your relationships, your skills, your health, your spiritual growth all thrive when nurtured with consistent attention and care. This mindset frees you from envy and comparison because you no longer care about who is ahead or behind. You are focused on your lane, on your growth, on your steps, and this focus becomes your power. In conclusion, if you truly want to shock everyone, stop looking for ways to impress them today. Start focusing on improving yourself daily. Become addicted to progress. Make your improvement non-negotiable. Show up for yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel, and do what needs to be done. Because one day, the results will be so powerful that even those who doubted you will stand in silent respect. The greatest achievements are not born out of single acts of greatness, but out of countless small acts of discipline and improvement repeated day after day. Commit to consistent daily improvement, and you will shock not only the world, but even yourself with the person you become. That is the true meaning of mastery, the quiet, humble, disciplined journey of becoming better every single day. For as long as you live, there is immense power in silence, a power so deep that words can never match it. In a world where everyone is speaking, shouting, proving, and defending themselves, silence becomes a rare force that shocks everyone. When you choose silence over unnecessary words, you step into a realm of wisdom and strength that most people never experience. Letting your silence speak louder than your words does not mean you remain passive or that you suppress your truth. It means you have reached a level of calm confidence where you no longer need to explain yourself to those who are determined to misunderstand you. It means your actions, energy, and results communicate far more effectively than any speech ever could. The problem with most people is that they waste their energy arguing, defending, gossiping, or explaining their every move. They drain themselves trying to convince people of their worth, their intentions, their capabilities. But life becomes powerful the day you realize that you owe no explanations to anyone who does not feed your growth. When you embrace silence, you begin to observe rather than react. You begin to listen deeply to what is not being said. You develop the wisdom to see people's intentions behind their words. You learn to respond from a place of calm understanding rather than impulsive emotion. Your silence allows you to think clearly before acting. It protects your energy from being wasted on meaningless confrontations. Silence does not mean weakness. It is the ultimate sign of inner strength, because it takes great discipline to remain silent when you are provoked, to remain still when you are challenged, and to walk away when your ego wants to fight. When you cultivate this discipline, people will be shocked by your composure. They will wonder why they cannot trigger you anymore, why their words no longer hurt you, and why you no longer engage in their petty dramas. They will see you rise above situations they expected to destroy you. That is the power of letting your silence speak. This silence is also a form of respect you give yourself. You respect your peace enough to protect it from unnecessary noise. You respect your energy enough to use it for your growth, rather than for arguments that lead nowhere. You respect your purpose enough to stay focused on your journey instead of getting distracted by what people say about you. And in doing so, you shock them, because the world expects you to react, to break down, to defend yourself, or to attack back. When you remain silent and keep moving forward, you become unstoppable. Your silence terrifies those who want to see you weak. Your silence confuses those who want to see you angry. Your silence disappoints those who seek to provoke you into self-destruction. This is why masters, sages, and warriors across history have spoken so little yet carried an aura of unshakable power. Their silence was a reflection of their deep inner mastery. Letting your silence speak also means you focus on results rather than words. You don't need to tell people what you will achieve. You show them through your disciplined actions. You don't need to announce your dreams to everyone. You work on them in silence and let your success echo loudly when the time comes. People may doubt your capabilities, but when they see the results you produce, your silence will become your greatest statement. Silence is also a healer. It allows you to connect deeply with yourself, to listen to your soul, to hear the whispers of your intuition guiding you towards the path meant for you. When you speak less and listen more, you become wise beyond your years, because wisdom is not gained through speaking, but through observing, listening, and reflecting. In conclusion, letting your silence speak louder than your words is one of the greatest powers you can cultivate. It is the mark of a true warrior, a true sage, a true master of life, because when you are silent, you remain in control. You conserve your energy. You remain focused on what truly matters. Your silence becomes your shield against negativity and your sword against ignorance. It cuts through noise and distractions, allowing your actions and results to do the talking. Remember, lions do not need to roar to prove they are lions. Their presence alone commands respect. Be like the lion. Move in silence, protect your peace, focus on your journey, and let your success speak so loudly that it silences every doubt, insult, and criticism ever thrown at you. That is how you shock everyone, not by shouting your worth, but by living it so powerfully that no words are needed. There comes a time in every person's life when they realize that existence is not just about survival, pleasing others, or living on autopilot. There comes a time when you must decide to build a life that reflects your discipline and purpose, a life that is an authentic extension of who you are and why you are here. Many people drift through life reacting to circumstances, fulfilling duties without meaning, and chasing goals they never truly desired. But if you want to shock everyone, if you want to leave a legacy that echoes beyond your name, you must build a life rooted in discipline and driven by purpose. Discipline is the foundation of all greatness. It is what transforms ordinary dreams into extraordinary realities. Without discipline, even the most brilliant plans remain only ideas floating in the mind. Discipline is what wakes you up before dawn to train your body when sleep tempts you to stay in bed. Discipline is what keeps you studying and improving when distractions call your name. Discipline is what silences your excuses with quiet and focused action. It is the bridge between your goals and your results, and when your life reflects discipline, people will be shocked by your consistency. They will wonder how you achieved so much while they wasted years making excuses. But discipline alone is not enough. You must combine it with purpose. Purpose gives meaning to your discipline. Purpose is the deep reason that fuels your sacrifices. It is the vision that pulls you forward when motivation fades. Without purpose, discipline becomes robotic and uninspired. Without discipline, purpose remains a beautiful but unfulfilled idea. Together, they create a life of unstoppable momentum. Building a life that reflects your discipline and purpose requires brutal honesty with yourself. You must ask, what kind of life do I truly want to live? And am I willing to pay the price to create it? Because greatness demands a price, the price of comfort, the price of distractions, the price of wasting time on what does not build your vision. When you commit to this path, you begin to structure your days with intention. You wake up with clarity, you plan with wisdom, and you execute with relentless focus. Your habits begin to align with your goals. Your choices begin to reflect your purpose. You no longer engage in activities that drain your energy or friendships that pull you backwards. Every moment of your day begins to build your vision, brick by brick. People will be shocked when they see the life you create through your discipline and purpose. They will see the calm in your eyes, knowing you have conquered your weaknesses. They will see the strength in your actions, knowing you have defeated your laziness. They will see the results you produce, knowing you did what they were unwilling to do. Your life becomes a silent testimony that discipline and purpose are not just philosophies, but powerful forces that shape reality. While others spend their days complaining about circumstances, you spend yours creating circumstances. While they wait for inspiration to strike, you build your life with intention, whether you feel inspired or not. While they seek shortcuts, you take the narrow path of daily effort, knowing that shortcuts only lead to dead ends. Building such a life also demands that you stop living to impress others. You no longer care about superficial opinions because you are too focused on your vision. Your self-worth comes from the life you are building, not from their approval. You begin to stand out not because you try to, but because discipline and purpose make you rare. You become the person whose life is a reflection of inner strength, clear values, and quiet mastery. And the most beautiful part is that your life becomes a light for others. People watch you and realize it is possible to create a life of meaning and strength. You inspire silently, by example, not by preaching. Your discipline shows them that self-mastery is real. Your purpose shows them that meaning exists beyond mere existence. In conclusion, to shock everyone and to fulfill your true potential, build a life that reflects your discipline and purpose. Let your days be shaped by routines that grow you, choices that align with your vision, and actions that honor your calling. This life will not come easily. It will demand sacrifices, lonely days, hard decisions, and relentless focus. But the reward is priceless. You will wake up every morning knowing who you are, where you are going, and why you are alive. You will no longer drift with the tides of life, but sail with a powerful, unbreakable direction. That is how you shock everyone, not with empty words or borrowed dreams, but by creating a life so disciplined, so purposeful, so powerful, that it becomes your loudest and most undeniable legacy.